Yeah, so it seems like Hoyoverse has come out with some pretty interesting news with a new game which has just been teased. Now, this has been teased like literally like a couple of hours ago. It's really not been that long, and a lot of people have been talking about it because it's interesting. It's a change up from what they've been usually doing. Obviously, we know them for making Genshin Impact, for making Honkai Star, for making Zenless Zero, and for making a whole lot more. Honkai Impact 3rd. So many games, and obviously they have a kind of style to them, right? They have a very cartoony type style which appeals to a lot of people, but they've gone for a little bit of a different route with this one, with a teaser actually dropping for the Hoyoverse game. Apparently it's going to use Unreal Engine 5. It's going to be a realistic fantasy game, open world MMO, PvP, boss fight, intellectual NPCs. So yeah, this is the kind of teaser that they put out for it. Looks absolutely amazing, by the way. And yeah, that's it. That's literally the teaser that dropped. But essentially, you can see here, the amount of detail that is going to be in this game is going to be absolutely amazing. This is not like Genshin Impact. This is not like Honkai Star. The detail is on a whole nother level. A lot of people were obviously referring it to similar to like Elden Ring kind of stuff. That kind of amount of detail and styling here. And yeah, I can 100% see that, right? And here's the official poster as well, which they released. And it looks like a very exciting thing that is going to be happening, right? There've been a lot of people talking about it, including this article from Gamer Braves here, saying Hoyoverse steps into Unreal Engine 5 with new realistic fantasy MMO teaser. The Hoyoverse has once again captured the gaming world's attention with what appears to be a powerful new project using Unreal Engine 5, marking the studio's first ever project on Epic Games' powerful engine. Early details suggest a bold shift towards a realistic fantasy setting with open world exploration, MMO gameplay, PvP combat, and advances in AI-driven systems. So yeah, very, very interesting. So a step into Unreal Engine 5 for a studio long known as an anime-inspired visuals and proprietary technology. The move to Unreal Engine 5 represents a major leap. Titles like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star, and Zenless Zero have all showcased Hoyoverse's expertise in stylized art and fluid action, but none have ventured into photorealistic environments before, which is true. As the Unreal Engine 5 opens the door for heightened realism, dynamic lighting, and vast terrain rendering, which yeah, is going to be very exciting to see. And they say an MMO with smarter worlds. Now, this is the thing that I'm most excited for about this game. Obviously, there is many MMO games, open world MMOs, that are made in Unreal Engine 5 or whatever, or going to be made in Unreal Engine 5. Sure, whatever. But this one, obviously, they're saying it's going to have a smarter world, saying that the teaser also mentions artificial intelligence simulated ecosystems, all-terrain battle AI, and intellectual NPCs. These suggest a world that behaves and reacts dynamically to players' actions. If true, players could experience living ecosystems there. Wildlife, enemies, and even townsfolk respond intelligently to environmental changes or battle conditions, which would be absolutely insane. You know, obviously, you know, many people have a lot of varying opinions whenever it comes to AI and things, but honestly, I think this could improve a game a lot. You know, they're not using it to create the artwork or anything for the game or anything like that. They're actually using it to improve the intelligence of the NPCs in the game and also the environments in the game to make it much more immersive, much more realistic, and obviously, yeah, can give players almost a different kind of experience, whoever, you know, you want to. Now, obviously, there might be a couple of issues with it. I can already see the clips coming out of the AI failing and maybe something wrong going on. But it will be very interesting to see how exactly they can do that and how exactly they can make this much more immersive and smarter. They say combined with PvP and large-scale boss fights, this could position the game closer to a full-fledged MMO than the instanced multiplayer seen in previous Hoyoverse titles. It's a bold move that could place the company in a direct competition with global heavyweights in the open world and MMO genre, which, yeah, I think would be very exciting to see. They say a new direction for Hoyoverse. The Genesis trailer implies more than just a new project. It may represent a creative rebirth for the studio, moving from the stylized charm of its previous games into a more grounded cinematic fantasy world that could mark a new era for Hoyoverse. Fans are already speculating whether the game will retain the free-to-play model and cross-platform accessibility that helped its earlier titles thrive. For now, details remain scarce, But one thing's for certain, Hoyoverse's next adventure could be the most ambitious yet. With Unreal Engine 5 powering a living, reactive world, Genesis might not just be a new title, it could be the beginning of a whole new chapter in the studio's evolution. Now, I think that is a very interesting comment to make. I don't think Hoyoverse is going to completely give up a lot of their current titles and a lot of what they've built up in the form of Genshin and Honkai and everything. I think they are going to continue that. I think what they're going to do, though, is obviously expand into the more realistic gaming sphere, like we're seeing with this game, and potentially even more games that are coming out in the future. I think they want to hit every single note. They want to hit every single kind of genre, every single kind of style and stuff like that. We've seen it with the new TFT game coming out from them. We've seen it with the new Animal Crossing style game coming out from them, right? They're trying to hit every single kind of thing they possibly can in order to get as much people playing their games as possible. And I think this is just another kind of step forwards as they are now looking at more, you know, realistic type of games to actually kind of target and maybe kind of compete with, including MMOs and stuff, which could potentially increase their breadth of, you know, how many games they're making. And honestly, I think it could be a good idea. You know, I don't know. Obviously, it depends whether they get more staff in and stuff and they can manage it properly. But if they can manage all of these games at the same time and do this one, I think honestly it could be a pretty interesting game, at least to watch and follow. Because again, I'm not opposed to new games coming out. I always want there to be new games, you know. Sure, like some people are going to be hating on it, being like, oh, it's Hoyoverse and things like that. But then at the end of the day, you know, it's exciting just to have a new game out there that potentially could be really cool. I mean, we've seen, you know, the teaser. The teaser looks great. You know, the thing that interests me the most, as I said, was the intellectual NPCs. I think that could really add some cool immersive experiences because, yeah, people don't care about, you know, what's called MMO NPCs or any NPCs in games for that fact. Because, again, it's just voice lines fed to you by the developer and it's kind of boring. But if you kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit, have some smarter ones that can actually, you know, go off in whatever you're saying and things, that would actually be really cool, and that would be a very interesting thing to kind of go down, right? A lot of people as well in the comments saying Hoyo slowly becoming the mapper of gacha games, saying one what? This is as unexpected as if Riot Games were announcing they're working on AAA Souls-like solo game in the Dora the Explorer IP and the Godot engine. Say PvP, let's just say unless that's completely optional, I'm not getting anywhere near it. Obviously, some people unhappy about the PvP, but let's be real. You've got Genshin Impact for that, you know, you've got Genshin Impact, you've got Honkai Star, you know, you don't have to interact with this game if you don't want to. But one thing I would say is, don't stop Hoyoverse from experimenting with games. Don't send a big, because we know how the Hoyoverse community can be sometimes, right? Don't send, you know, any kind of hate or whatever towards them for making a game that maybe you don't like, but a lot of other people are very excited for, because again, I think this is their chance to actually create something, you know, kind of meaningful. Now, I don't know whether this is going to have any gacha elements to it. I'm unsure, but again, I'm guessing not. I'm assuming not. With the rise, there is actually a rising trend of a lot of gacha game companies making non-gacha games at the moment. Maybe this is their kind of hat, kind of in the kind of ring. For a game that does not have gacha, but you know, it's obviously made by a predominantly gacha company. It'd be interesting, you know, people saying, you know, can they slow down please? Nexus, Anima, and Petit Planet aren't even out yet. Unreal Engine 5 engine, what? You know, saying, wow, PTSD flashbacks. So again, obviously a lot of people are very excited. Some people not so happy, obviously saying MMO, you know, they're not very happy. But again, I think this is just because it's not a Genshin Impact game that they're mad or something. I don't know. But again, I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what happens. And honestly, the teasers look very, very enticing. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaz to get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.